There were four friends who were all girls in the village of Osisi. The four girls were Ego, Adinde, Somi, and Kome. The girls were in the same class, in the same school. They loved each other as though they were blood sisters, and they were all very brilliant girls. In the class, the other students often envied them, and the four were as though having a strong bond of love and link with each other from the past. One day, the four girls were busy chatting and joking with one another when Kome suddenly said she felt like eating cherry fruits. I feel like eating cherry fruits, my friends, she said, looking at them fondly. Are you hungry? Asked Adindi. Nope, I'm not hungry. Just feeling like sucking the juice of the fruits, replied Kome, smiling. Okay, girls, let's go and get cherry fruits for Kome, Adindi said to the other girls. The girls agreed to go, but so many out of all of them said, you all know we cannot go to get any cherry fruits for Kome because where we can find cherry fruits all belong to Chief Azagba. And if he catches us, I wonder what he will do to us all. Never mind, Somi, the other girls said. He will never catch us because his house is not close to where the cherry fruits grow. So they all went to Benche farm where Chief Azagba's cherry fruits grew and plucked as many as they could and sat down eating it. When they were through, they all went back to their various houses. But when Somi got home, she found that her mother was sick. People in the neighborhood had been looking for her to tell her to return home and take care of her mother, but they did not know where she went to. So on hearing this, Somi quickly hurried into the house to find that her mother's condition was very serious. She had not been sick when she left, so what must have happened? Unfortunately, a few days later, her mother passed away. Before she died, she gave Somi some money, the little money that was left with her, to go to the city and look for something to do. Somi's father had died when she was very young, and her mother had been the only one taking care of her. The money was very small. Her friends were sad that she was leaving them all for the city. They had always promised to love and stand by one another. No matter what happened in their lives, they had promised never to break their bond. When Somi left the village, the remaining three friends also became separated one way or the other by different circumstances. It was only Adinde that was left in the village of Osisi. Several years later, Somi, who had gone to the city to work, became very successful. She had found a job as a sales assistant in a food canteen, and due to her hard work and the ability to cook palatable dishes, a very wealthy man, a young one, fell in love with her and married her. Her husband had opened a very big restaurant for her where she employed many workers. And they now live in a very beautiful and big mansion in the city. One day, her husband came back home to tell her that they will be going to the village of Osisi for a festival. His friend had invited them to come to that village to spend the days of the festival with them. Somi was surprised. She told her husband about her three friends and that was where she had lived with her parents when she was a little girl. Her husband was also really surprised, and he was happy for her that she was going to reunite with her friends once again after so many years. On the day they arrived at Osisi, Somi was surprised that her best friend, one of the fours, Adindi, was actually the person that her husband's friend was married to. They hugged each other. They were so happy to see one another. So, you are my husband's best friend's wife? Somi asked, and then they said, in fact, I'm surprised that Somi, my best friend, is my husband's best friend's wife. So they spent time catching up with the past. They both decided to check on the other two friends. Somi and Adin, they now planned it. They discovered that Ego lived in a village not that far from Osisi, and so they decided to check on her first. When they arrived, they found out that Ego was living well. The house was opulent, looking very great, and everything spelled wealth. They were well welcomed, and the three friends were happy. Life had really made it worthwhile for them. They were all very successful. After much talking and hugging, they decided to check on Kome, their fourth friend. Wow, Kome will be very happy to see us. Kome is the most outspoken of the three of us. They were all planning, and all of the three of them went to search for Kome. They set out for Ejida village where Kome lived. They arrived at the address and were surprised. They were shocked to find that the house Kome lived was a very poor one. The three guests began to cry, wondering why Kome, the most outspoken of them all, had not reached out to them for help. They saw the window curtain shift and someone peering through the windows, but the sound of the door opening took their attention away. "She's not around," a small, handsome-looking boy said to them, barring the door. The little boy looked exactly like Kome. He must be her son, they thought. "Please, can we speak to Kome?" Ego asked. "We are friends from childhood, and we've come to see her. We've missed her so much." The little boy looked at them and saw the love on their faces and in their eyes and said, "I know. My mother saw you coming through the window and was crying. She said I should tell you people that she's not at home. That's a child for you." "But why would she say that?" asked Zombie, sniffing in tears. "Because you all look rich, and rich people don't like poor people," the little boy replied. "Oh," exclaimed Adindi, "you're a very intelligent boy. You must be her son." "Yes, I am," he replied. "One day I'm going to be as rich as you people are and make my mother proud." "That's good," replied Sumi. "You see, we've come a long way and you can't keep us out here in the sun. Can you let us in for a few minutes? Then we can leave," she said. "All right," the little boy said, smiling and shaking his head. "You may come in for a little while. It's bad manners to keep visitors standing outside. But you must not stay long. My name is Komena." "Komena?" "Yes, my name is Komena," the little boy said, opening the door wider. He led them into a very poor sitting room, and they all sat down, looking at the tattered but neat house. He got them some clean water, and they drank, and then went back. The boy went back inside the room. Komena went in to tell his mother that they were such good people, and they were such that it doesn't matter the condition they were in. She was to be proud of herself for being the breadwinner of the family, caring for all of them. Kome was feeling guilty and ashamed at hearing her son talk to her like an adult. Bracing up herself, she wiped away her tears, held her son's hands for courage, and went out to see her friends. As soon as they set eyes on Kome, the girls, now ladies, embraced her, and there was a lot of hugging and tear shedding. At last, they blamed one another for not checking on each other and promised it will never be that way again. Before they left Kome's house that day, they gave her a huge sum of money to start a business with. Few years later, the girls checked on Kome to see how she was faring, and they were happy. The business had flourished, and she had built a nice house where she lived now with her family. They were all now successful and living a fulfilled life. What about you, my friends? Now you are wealthy and successful. How many of your friends and childhood friends and classmates have you helped without lording it over them? or jeering and laughing at them for being poor. Remember, all fingers are not equal, and your children and family members are still here. You never can tell what tomorrow may bring. That's the end of the story. Wishing you all a happy new year.